In the wake of the latest killings of unarmed Black men by police, a new crop of young leaders is emerging. They're part of Generation Z, and with their bold calls for dismantling traditional policing and other systems, some say they hold the keys to lasting change. I'm joined now by two young organizers. 16-year-old Ta'andiwe Abdullah, co-founder of Black Lives Matter Los Angeles Youth Vanguard, and 17-year-old Jalen Thompson of O'Fallon, Missouri. Jalen was one of the lead organizers for his city's protest. Thank you both so much for being with us. Jalen, not only did you help to organize the protest in O'Fallon, Missouri, population 88,000, but I understand this was your first protest. Can you describe what that day was like for you?
For me, it was just very, very surreal, I guess is the best way to say that. This has been kind of a breaking point, seeing that we're just now graduating and leaving into the world. So it's scary to think that this could be us someday. And that's why we're so happy to see so many people coming together to kind of start having this conversation, even in places where it's not often talked about.
Jalen, there's a picture of you at that protest holding a sign that simply says, "I am human too," which is a powerful statement. But another powerful statement is that you were arm in arm with O'Fallon's police chief. Can you describe what that felt like, especially when so many consider the police to be the problem?
Well, here in O'Fallon, we definitely have a much better relationship with our police officers than in a lot of other places. And I think that's why we're working with them to kind of keep the protests safe. It's not all of the officers that are the problem, but it's the system that they operate under. They are able to do these things that they do that are sometimes inhuman, basically. And they're able to get away with a lot of it because of the way that our system works. And that's why we need to change it.
Ta'andiwe, you've been organizing and at protests in Los Angeles, which is one of the places where police have been criticized for how they've handled protests. And we've seen numerous videos of police actually being violent toward peaceful protesters and journalists and even bystanders. So I wonder how you read when a police officer is part of a march or takes a knee.
I view this as a systemic problem. I don't believe in the good cop narrative. I believe that there are good people who decide to become cops. But in choosing to do that, I feel like you are choosing to join an oppressive system.
We've heard two phrases, defund police and abolish police, become popular in recent weeks. I wonder what you think about the effectiveness of that language.
What I think that a lot of people mean when they say defund or abolish police is we need to reimagine what safety looks like. It's not like we don't want law enforcement or that we don't want security for our communities, but we need to reimagine what that looks like. Someone imagined this world that we live in today. And so I think we need to think about, really taking the time to think of something different, right? We have imaginations. Let's use them. Does safety look like community-based security? Does safety look like mental health? Does it look like affordable housing? Does it look like the security guard that works at your school? We really need to just take that time to dream of something better.
It's going to be hard. And just like with all of the defunding the police and kind of reimagining, as she said, with the police that we need to do, it's going to take a while. And that's why we need to be as involved in the fight as we can be starting now, so that down the road, in a few years from now, we're still going to be there.
Ta'andiwe, there are so many expectations for your generation, Generation Z. And I wonder whether you have hope that this is the moment that leads to permanent policy change.
Yeah, Generation Z, we are fed up. We are the generation that says no more. And I think that we will be the generation that really revolutionizes this world and kind of transforms the world for the better. But at the same time, on the flip side, it is kind of a lot to say that the future of this entire world and this nation is resting on Gen Z's shoulders when we've barely even made it out of childhood yet. And I think it is kind of a little bit of an easy way out for a lot of older generations to be able to say, well, this is on y'all. And, you have to take over when, they're not gone yet. We still need all the help that we can get. And so I think that it does have to be a balance between letting Gen Z and kind of accepting that Gen Z will be the change, but also at the same time making sure that older generations are doing their part in making sure that our future is bright as well.
Jalen Thompson in O'Fallon, Missouri, and Ta'andiwe Abdullah joining us from Los Angeles. Thank you both so much for sharing your perspectives.
Thank you.